Welcome to the Real Talk Wrestling YouTube channel. And if I had a theme song, it would start playing right now. But I don't have a theme song. So today, instead, I'm just going to talk about a couple of things. I want to get right into it. The state of the WWE. Where it stands right now, what that senile fool Vince McMahon has made of things lately. Right now, for where the product stands at this moment, WrestleMania 33 kind of screwed things up a lot as far as the booking goes and the decisions. I'll start off with the elephant in the room. The fact that my man Bray Wyatt lost his WWE title at WrestleMania is an absolute travesty. The man was clearly over. The way that he was pushed leading up to Mania, he was clearly over as hell. People loved it. People were eating it up. And his match with Orton was awful. It made no sense. And him losing it was just, you look at the reaction in the crowd, and people were pissed that he lost. You had your chance to make the star there, and we now see where Bray Wyatt is. He hasn't fallen completely, but certainly he was screwed out of the WWE title, and that that opportunity to make a star, once again, the WWE fails to do so, to capitalize on that. Goldberg entering WrestleMania as the Universal Champion in 2017 is an absolute travesty, and it is disgusting, to say the least. The fact that him and Lesnar were Raw's main event for the Universal title. Excuse me, I am sick. Roman Reigns defeating The Undertaker and not turning heel afterwards. Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens not being for the Universal title at WrestleMania. When that was set up, that was 7 months of build on Monday Night Raw, and the match ended up being for the United States title instead of the Universal title. Now, WrestleMania was the end of March. It's now in May. Why am I sitting here bitching about something that happened over 2 months ago? Well, here's why. Finn Balor was the first ever Universal Champion. Okay? The WWE just put out a special on him on the network about his whole process of recovering from his torn labrum. Took him 7 months, and he says several times that he was promised a return at WrestleMania. Did not show up at WrestleMania. Did not. He was cleared 3 weeks before and was on stupid house shows in Buffalo, New York, but did not make WrestleMania. But Goldberg entered WrestleMania as a Universal Champion. Watch the crowd reaction to that match. They didn't cheer Brock Lesnar because they're like, oh my God, Brock Lesnar's our champion. They cheered it because Goldberg was finally gone and out of there. Which is a shame, because I liked Goldberg up until this. This whole experiment with him has just been a travesty, in my opinion. There's no reason why Balor should not have come back. You could have inserted him with Owens and Jericho, considering their whole feud was over the the Universal title. You insert Balor right into that. You have a triple threat. You have Balor pin Jericho and the triple threat to retain his title, leaving Owens unpinned. And your next main event for your next Raw pay-per-view is Owens and Balor for the first time on the main roster at Payback. It writes itself. It writes itself. It's not hard, Vince. It ain't hard. Okay? So that's two chances for your top stars. You got your top guy on SmackDown and Bray Wyatt, which you totally snuffed. And then you could have had your top guy on Raw and Finn Balor snuffed. 2 opportunities, big opportunities, snuffed. And I brought up the Roman Reigns thing a minute ago. Of all people, why does Roman Reigns, and look, I'm going to start making videos again. If you watch my videos, you're going to find out very quickly. I don't believe Roman Reigns deserves all the hate he gets. I will stand by that. I think, does Roman Reigns deserve to be a top guy like Daniel Bryan was? Absolutely not. Is he a Bryan? Is he a Punk? No. There's nothing likable about Roman Reigns unless you're a girl or a child, but the dude can go in the ring. Now, his match with Undertaker was an abomination, and I wish it hadn't happened. Undertaker should have retired at WrestleMania 28, I believe it was, with him against Triple H, with Michaels being the special guest referee in the Hell in a Cell. That match was perfect, and that should have been Undertaker's last match. No question, no ands, ifs, or buts. But the ceremony at the end with Undertaker retiring, you know, I shed a tear with that. That was a good moment, but I hate I hate how it came about. I hate, you know, it was all for Roman Reigns, and it gets him nothing. He's the most hated man in the company, and it's a problem that the WWE will continue to deal with until Vince finally lets it go. Which we see with Hulk Hogan and John Cena in the past, how Vince likes to let things go. And then the Superstar shakeup really didn't help anything that WrestleMania 33 presented, because Bray Wyatt not only... Well, my first reaction when he lost to Orton was, okay, well, he'll get it back. You know, Vince wants his boys, his Ortons, his Cenas, his, you know, whatever. He wants them to win at the big show. And then at the B-level pay-per-view, you know, the fans will actually get who they want to win, and Bray Wyatt. But then they had this Superstar shakeup. And it did a lot more bad than good. I was so excited for the positioning of the rosters after Mania, because excuse me, I'm sorry. With Nakamura on SmackDown, I'm thinking, holy crap, you have Wyatt, Nakamura, and Styles could be your top three, you know, with Orton being that veteran presence, and then your mid card is Corbin and The Miz and Ziggler and Ambrose. That's not for a 2-hour show. That's great. The SmackDown was going to be pretty lit. Which, when's the last time you would ever thought you'd hear someone say that? But then they totally shafted Bray Wyatt by moving him to Raw, and then he beat Randy Orton at the next pay-per-view in his WrestleMania rematch, but didn't get the belt, because you're a Raw guy now, so you don't get the WWE title that you lost. Even though you just won it back, you don't get it. Because Jinder Mahal. Excuse me. The Miz and Dean Ambrose, it's kind of the same song and dance with those guys. We've seen it on SmackDown God knows how many times, and now we're seeing the same thing on Raw. Same recycled thing over the IC title. It doesn't do any good for any of them, really, because The Miz, if you haven't been watching the WWE product since the draft last July, The Miz really, like anyone who's been watching would admit, The Miz has really revitalized his career with his feud with Dolph Ziggler. He really kind of reinvented himself, became like a new dude, and I could have easily seen him challenge for a WWE championship. I think that would have been amazing. Really, like him and I don't know, him and Styles, Bray, whatever. But now he's on Raw doing the same mid-card boring crap with Dean Ambrose, who I can't stand. Dean Ambrose is boring and stale and dull, and the whole crazy I'm insane thing, it doesn't do anything for me. And, you know, the Superstar shakeup, another reason why it sucks for anyone to go to Raw is if you're on Raw and your name ain't Roman Reigns or a part-timer, don't even show up. You know, Roman is still king. It's his yard regardless. So, I mean, that kind of sucks. It's, you know, Vince just kind of, he picks his boy, he picks his favorite, and screw the fans. I'm going to go a little bit into each brand specifically. Start off with Raw. That's a little bit of what I've just kind of been talking about the last 10 minutes. Brock Lesnar being the Universal Champion is not good for business. It does a lot more harm than good to the product, considering we haven't seen the Universal title since WrestleMania. And some people say that adds prestige and mystique and mystery to the belt. I say it devalues it massively, because you have Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, Bray Wyatt, Roman Reigns, Cesaro, who I'd love to see him get out of the tag team division, and that's the dude I want to see just catapulted to the main event. I think even when he's done with the cruiserweights, Neville is fantastic. He's another one. So I mean, you have all this talent on Raw, and they have nothing to fight over because Brock Lesnar's sitting at home, with Paul Heyman, which is just bad for business. And again, back to the Finn Balor thing, the dude, he is still over, no doubt. Balor's he's arguably the most over babyface on Raw right now, but he is his momentum has fallen because, I mean, he in his first month from NXT, he wins he's the first winner of a title that they debut, and he comes back, and now here it is. Now he's just now interested. Oh yeah, my Universal Championship. How about that? When he's been back since WrestleMania, and that just makes him look stupid. It just the killing of the momentum. It's like anytime the WWE seems to even remotely build a new star, remotely build a new guy, if his name isn't Roman Reigns, they cut the cord, and I'll never understand that. It's, what CM Punk said, sometimes I think might be true. This company will be better off when Vince McMahon is dead, or at least gone, because I think Triple H, when he eventually grabs the helm, I think, those are the guys that will get the title shots and will get the pushes. And if you haven't been watching Raw, Braun Strowman has actually been like the best part of Raw lately. And he's hurt. He I think it was an elbow injury. He shattered some bone in his elbow or something, they said. And he was in a feud with Roman Reigns. And with him out now, I had heard all the rumors that he was supposed to be Lesnar's first challenger for the Universal title. There's no way now. It's nobody else but Roman. It's going to be all Roman and Brock going back and forth for the next who knows how long. That's what I would bet my money on. The tag team division on Raw, and this is really for both shows, it sucks. Even with the Hardys back, which, believe me, no one is happier to see Jeff Hardy back on WWE TV than me. I love Jeff Hardy. I think Jeff Hardy's amazing. But in 2017, it doesn't. How do I put this? I'm hearing talks about Vince really wants to eventually split them up and give Jeff Hardy a singles push at the Universal title. And again, I love Jeff, but in 2017 it doesn't belong. It's the Goldberg thing. I mean, if you want to give me a pay-per-view match with Jeff Hardy and Bray Wyatt, Finn, I don't care, anybody, just don't put Jeff in the title picture, because you have too much talent on the roster that's still going to be on the roster and then the next 7-8 years, and those are the guys that need the big pushes, because you will never further the product, you will never get your company better until you use those guys. So but the tag team division sucks. Sheamus and Cesaro, I hate that with a passion. There's no reason why Sheamus can't be in the mid-card, be a dominant mid-card heel with Ambrose and The Miz, and I don't even know who else. is on Raw's mid card. I don't care. And Cesaro is that babyface. He is that dude. If they would give him the Roman Reigns treatment, the Roman Reigns push, I could absolutely see crowds getting behind Cesaro. The dude is amazing in the ring, doesn't have the greatest mic work, but he's likable. People want to genuinely cheer for him, and they genuinely like him. And the things that he does in the ring, magnifies that. And it really discourages me to see him just kind of stuck in this rut in the tag team division. I understand it to an extent because the division is so bad they don't have anybody. But eventually, like when the Revival gets back from injury, when they bring up DIY and the Authors of Pain and those dudes and NXT, then definitely split them up, push Cesaro to the moon, and I don't think they'll regret it. And like I said, another dude who, when he's done with his current role, I think is top of the card bound, and that's Neville. I mean, Braun Strowman and Neville, for a couple months, they were like the only two good parts of Raw. I mean, Neville, since his heel run, he is a freaking beast. And I've always liked Neville from the very beginning. Just go back. I mean, if you have the network, go back and watch his stuff in NXT. Just alone, and even the stuff he's done on the main roster is incredible. Go watch. I don't remember what year it was. It was the year that Rollins was the champion. So like 2015, he had like an open challenge, and Neville responded to it, and Seth Rollins and Neville in a regular old Raw had a WWE title match. And when Neville hit the red arrow, Seth Rollins got a rope break on it too. But it was like a really close 2 count. And that crowd lost its mind when they thought that Neville actually got the 3 count, man. I mean, he's a dude. He's just like Cesaro. He's not, maybe he's not like the best on the mic, or he's not going to capture you with his charisma like a Shinsuke Nakamura does. But the dude is so unbelievably gifted in the ring that you just can't help but like him. Even when he is a heel, I freaking love Neville. And SmackDown, speaking of Nakamura, dude's a megastar. He could not have gone to, there's only 2 shows, so I was going to say he could not have gone to a better show. Because I do believe if he went to Raw with his accent, freaking bucktooth Kevin Dunn and Vince McMahon, there's no way that Nakamura is as highly promoted and big as he is now if he goes to Raw. SmackDown is the perfect place for him. The dude hasn't wrestled a match since he got called up, and he's already like the most over dude possibly in the company. So he is. It's a shame too that I want to say he's like 33 already, which is a shame because, I mean, if they would have gotten this guy, 5-6 years ago, and the same thing with Styles too, which is, again, bring back to my point about Triple H. Triple H brings all these dudes in here. You think Vince McMahon's watching New Japan and Ring of Honor? No, it's all Triple H. And so just imagine, when Triple H takes over, how much better things will really be. With SmackDown, the land of opportunity is not always a good thing, because then you got Jinder Mahal headlining a pay-per-view as your number 1 contender for the WWE title. Disgusting. And I hope Chicago eats that match alive with CM Punk chants tomorrow night. The mid-card on SmackDown is much better than the main event, actually. We have Kevin Owens and AJ Styles fighting for the United States title tomorrow night. When in the world has a match for the United States title felt that high profile? The answer is never. So that's a big deal. I don't think it'll be too much longer though until they eventually slide Nakamura up to the main event on SmackDown. I had originally thought with with Wyatt still being on SmackDown with the WWE title, I would have had it. I would have had Bray hold the belt until SummerSlam when he faced Shinsuke, with Shinsuke beating him, and Baron Corbin winning the Money in the Bank. When is that? I think June or July, something like that. I would have had Corbin win Money in the Bank, and kind of like with the Daniel Bryan thing, back when he beat Cena in 2013, you know, you have Nakamura beat Bray Wyatt, and then Corbin, you know, cash in the Money in the Bank on Shinsuke, and you automatically have that way over, you know, babyface, sympathetic, you know, we love this guy, and Nakamura, and you have your dominant, you know, we hate this guy dude, and Baron Corbin. You have, it's how you create new stars. It's how you get people invested. It's how people, when you say subscribe to the WWE Network, we don't really give you a reason to, but subscribe. Well, that's how you give people a reason to, because you invest them and you make them interested, because you create new stars. Excuse me, I'm coughing way too much. And so yeah, with Corbin, with hope, which I still think he will win Money in the Bank, you know, even though it's impossible for what I just explained to happen, I do think either Corbin or Sami Zayn will definitely win Money in the Bank for SmackDown, but I'm leaning much more towards Baron Corbin, and a situation like I just presented to happen on some babyface. Maybe it will end up being Shinsuke, I don't know. But the best thing for SmackDown is AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura on the same show. And if we don't get Styles versus Nakamura, you know, I doubt the WWE can hold it off until next WrestleMania. I could see Vince blowing it off at SummerSlam, but I'd love to see it on a WrestleMania stage. But, I mean, that is a match. That's a match, man, that's like, that's worth subscribing to the network for, just for that. Nakamura and Styles, that's shut up and take my money right there. So, and now, like, with the Superstar shakeup with SmackDown, I mean, it did do a lot of bad, but at the same time for SmackDown, I feel like it did a little less bad, because, you know, I think Sami Zayn will eventually get his chance to shine over there. We could possibly see a Zayn and Nakamura 2 for a WWE Championship or a number one contenders match or something like that, which would be great. And with Kevin Owens over there, you know, so there's a lot of, I think there's probably more potential for SmackDown than for Raw. And considering it's a 2-hour show, it's much easier to watch. So my Backlash predictions, we'll just run through this really quickly, because I've already been flapping my gums for over 20 minutes. We got the Usos versus the Fashion Police. And I know the Fashion Police have actually been really over lately. Their little segments have been pretty highly rated. But, which is exactly why I see Vince McMahon not pulling the trigger. And I see the Usos winning here. I don't think the WWE wants to take it off of them just yet. I think they probably want to save that for the New Day. They probably want New Day versus the Usos to happen. The women's tag match, who cares? Do you care? No, I don't care. Eric Rowan versus Luke Harper. This is a classic case of Eric Rowan is nothing without Bray Wyatt. And even though Luke Harper can go, and Luke Harper has slightly gotten over as a babyface, he doesn't have the look. So we're not going to push him or do anything with him. So we'll just throw them together. So it's whatever. Luke Harper will win. Sami Zayn versus Baron Corbin. I think Sami Zayn will win because Chicago, will be really behind Sami Zayn, and Sami Zayn really needs it. He hasn't. I think he's. I don't think he's won at all on SmackDown. I don't think he's won anything. So yeah, he definitely needs a win. And Baron Corbin, like I said, I think he's going to have a massive 2017. I think he's winning the Money in the Bank and the WWE title by the end of the year, so he can afford a loss on a B-level pay-per-view. It won't be a big deal. And we got what I am predicting is going to rival the Zayn Nakamura match at NXT TakeOver Dallas, and with Shinsuke Nakamura and Dolph Ziggler. There is no way that Dolph Ziggler wins this match. The crowd is going to eat it up, and it's going to be great because Dolph Ziggler, I mean, the dude can sell a Bible to an atheist, but I mean, and talk about a guy who the WWE's dropped the ball on, because Ziggler 3 years ago, man, was like the most over thing, and now people just are so meh about him because of the 50-50 book and garbage. But yeah, Nakamura will definitely win. I think it'll be a really great match, but Nakamura will definitely win. And then we got Styles versus Kevin Owens for the United States title. This could also be match of the night. That's WrestleMania caliber stuff right there. Styles versus Owens. I see Kevin retaining because I think Styles probably challenges Randy Orton next. So Styles probably loses in some bullcrap way, and then probably just moves on to Randy, and then your next feud for the United States title is probably Owens and Zayn, which is not a bad thing. And then Randy Orton against Jinder Mahal. There's Dolph Ziggler has more of a chance to beat Shinsuke Nakamura than Jinder Mahal has of winning this match. There is no way that Randy Orton is dropping the WWE title to Jinder Mahal. And this whole thing will be a complete failed experiment. Chicago is going to fill this match with CM Punk chants, and it's going to suck and be an absolute failure. And especially if they put it on last. Because if you give a Chicago crowd a Nakamura and Ziggler match, and a Styles and Owens match, and then throw them Orton and Mahal, I mean, that's setting them up for failure. So that's my predictions. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it. I haven't made a video in a while. I'm going to try to start doing it more consistently now. Hopefully I should. I wanted to wait until this cold went away, but I decided to make a video, put it up anyway. But hopefully I'll be feeling better tomorrow, and I'll do a review of Backlash. So like this video, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff.